Welcome to Unlearning with Laura, the podcast where you get to rewire your mind, reclaim your power, and break generational cycles. I'm Laura Stiles, clinical hypnotherapist and mindset coach, and founder of The Mindful Generation, the place where parents come to transform their lives and live with more purpose and freedom. Let's dive in. This episode is brought to you by Carry, a screen-free voice messaging device designed for families who want connection, safety and independence without giving children a smartphone. As conscious parents, we know smartphones are powerful tools, but they also come with pressure, distraction and risks that developing brains simply aren't built for. Carry, spelt K-A-R-R-I, offers an awesome alternative, allowing children to stay connected with the people who matter most, while protecting their emotional well-being and their childhood. You can take advantage of 15% off the Messenger One device. Just use code MindfulGen15 at the checkout. Check the link in the show notes to find out more. But for now, let's tune in. Welcome to another episode of Unlearning with Laura. I hope you're well. I am recording this on the voice memo app of my phone because I've had to start over again. I am re-recording, so let's see how this one goes. But basically, I've had some technical issues with the software that I use, and with the summer juggle, my kids are at home today, so I'm literally just going to have a little chat with you guys, give you a brief life update. This is going to be a really short solo episode. And I will end the episode by giving you some tips and advice on how to regulate your nervous system and de-stress throughout the 6-week summer holidays whilst trying to juggle everything at home. And I know that some of you may not have children at home. You may have younger ones who are in childcare for the whole summer. But I know that a lot of you are juggling, whether it's a business or whether you are working from home or whether you're working out of the home. It's just trying to get everything done with kids being around a lot more and perhaps feeling unsupported, perhaps feeling more stressed than usual. So I will finish the episode with a few tips that I personally use and help my clients with when we work in the programs together. So first of all, at the time of recording, it's Friday the 31st of July. And you may remember in a previous episode, I mentioned that this is going to be the last episode for a while. I'm going to be taking a break from the podcast until November time, just so that I can concentrate on enjoying the summer fully with my kids. I'm having an audit of my business done during the middle of August. And that means that I'm going to then be focusing on the next 90 days to 6 months, figuring out like what I might need to change, what feels exciting and what I want to focus on more of, how I can help more people and reach more mums who really need the support. And so with that in mind, it means that I just want to really focus on that and the outcome of the VIP day that I'm having in the middle of August. So the podcast also, I think I mentioned in the previous episode, I am looking for sponsorship for it. So any aligned brands, if you know of any, or if you are an aligned brand and you think you would be a good fit and have the capacity to be able to sponsor this podcast, then please do get in touch. I'd be really interested to have a chat. Right, so let's get into it. I want to just literally give a little bit of an update on what's been going on behind the scenes. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen I did change my handle this week. I changed it from The Mindful Generation to Laura Stiles Coach. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time now. And in my head, I had made it this much bigger thing than it actually is. And I didn't want to change my Instagram handle on every single, place where I've shared it. For example, like my email signature, in all of my kind of like newsletters, everywhere. There's so many places where I now have to change it, which is fine. It's just admin stuff, But it just felt like something that was quite hard to let go of. And I think it's because, I did do a post about this. The whole idea behind having the handle, The Mindful Generation, was because when I very first set it up, my vision was to have almost like a consultancy model and to have other coaches that worked alongside me, and where we had associate coaches and therapists that worked as part of the Mindful Generation, and it would feel like a team. Well, that vision changed about a year ago, and I knew that I wanted to kind of make it more about like my personal brand. And that feels, I don't know why in my head that feels a little bit cringe and a little bit like almost narcissistic to say. But at the end of the day, so many other people have their own personal brand, and I haven't grown it to be a consultancy. I am the face behind the Mindful Generation, and I am the person who delivers all of the sessions. And it's my skills and my expertise and a blend of my hypnotherapy, somatic work and nervous system work that is, mixed in with my NLP coaching modalities and techniques. And so I just wanted it to feel more like it was my brand. So that was the reason for changing the handle. Nothing else has changed. Email address, everything else is exactly the same. I've just literally, I guess, made it more of like a personal brand on Instagram. I've still got my Facebook page, which is the Mindful Generation, because that is classed as a business page. So yeah, everything else remains the same. You can check out the reasons why I changed it if you want to check out that Instagram post. So that's the main news in my world recently. You can tell that not a huge amount has been going on. I have been working with clients and doing my usual routine stuff, but as my children are at home quite a lot at the moment, I've really been slowing everything right down work-wise. And next week we are going on a glamping trip, so I'm slowly, getting everything arranged for that and allowing myself to just switch off for a few days whilst we're there. So that feels really expansive and exciting, and it will be really nice to just switch off and spend some quality time with the kids. We're actually going with some friends of ours and their children. Their kids are good friends with our kids, so we figured, this will be our village. If the kids have got other friends there, they really will be able to just have so much fun. And it means that our lives are made easier because, you can kind of relax a bit more when they're just playing. And we are on a campsite that's near the sea. There's going to be sound baths, meditation mornings, yoga. There's like a sauna there. There's so many cool things going on there. I'm really excited. I've not been there before. But it's, just a few nights. And I'm so intrigued to see what this campsite is like, because usually when we go camping, we go to those kinds of campsites that are kind of off-grid, no electricity, although this one hasn't got electricity, but we usually go to the ones where there's not much else going on and not many people, and deliberately want it to be low-key and feel like you're very off-grid and almost just escape from any busyness of the world. But this is a much larger campsite, so it will be interesting to see how different it is from our usual camping trips. We are staying in a yurt, so it's not, although we've got all the camping gear, we're doing it a little bit more glampy style for this one. But I love the fact it's on the beach, so it'd be nice to get in the sea, have a swim and let the kids play on the beach as well. So that's what we're up to next week. And I have opened up my calendar for a very limited time only this summer. So on the 6th and the 12th of August, I've opened it up for any new consultation calls that come in. So if you're interested in having a chat, like no obligation, it's just a free chat, just to ask any questions you might have without even thinking about investing. You can literally just find out what the Mindful Generation is all about, what I can offer. Ask me anything at all. No question is silly. But basically, I have got a few spaces on those 2 days, the 6th and the 12th, for any consultation calls. And that is especially if you feel like you perhaps have been in my world for a while and you definitely do want to do one of my programs, then you could have a chat with me with a view to starting in September. So, it's a really good opportunity to have a chat with a view to maybe doing the 4-week program in September, or even just booking in a power hour, seeing how I work and seeing how we collaboratively can get your life feeling good again and get that transformation started and rewire those habits and just get to the root of the issues and that subconscious work to be started for you. If you did want to do the 4-week awakening program, it is, if you don't know much about it, it's 4 one-to-one 60-minute sessions, and it's the real nervous system and subconscious work. It's the foundational 4 weeks of my signature 12-week program. And you receive voice note support. You will receive the most incredible transformative nervous system support. You receive your own personalized hypnotherapy session and audio to go with it to start rewiring your mind. It's just fantastic. So if you're on Instagram, you can actually check out the feedback highlight that I've got. There's a few people who have done the 4-week program that have very kindly given some lovely feedback on their experience of doing the 4-week awakening. So you can find out a little bit more about it there from people who've done it. What else? I will share with you some random thoughts. I joined our village cricket club last week, as in there is a new ladies team that started. It's just a bit of fun. It's not like a proper team that's playing like county level or anything like that, but there is a ladies team, and it's just a lot of like the school mums from our village school and other local schools who have joined. And when I first heard about it, my friend mentioned it and I was like, absolutely no chance. I don't know the rules of cricket, even though my kids play and my husband has been playing for years and always talks about it. I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't get the rules. I don't get the lingo. And they were like, no, you don't need to know anything like that. It's just coming along and just having a bit of fun. So fine. And I went there and I thought, oh my God, I was so nervous. I haven't played a team sport in so long, like probably since school. I can't remember the last time I played a team sport. And I just thought, oh gosh, I feel a bit nervous. You know, when you get that sort of anxious feeling, I haven't felt like that for a while either. So luckily I was brave enough to share with a couple of friends there that I felt a bit nervous. And I think that's the best thing to do when you're feeling a bit of anxiety or fear around something that's brand new. The best thing to do is just name it out loud, because as soon as I said that, a couple of them were, you know, admitting that they felt the same. And I think we were all in the same boat, to be fair. It's quite scary doing something different and something new and learning something in front of a bunch of other people as well. So yeah, you know, learning to bowl in front of a group of other women and bat. And, you know, we played a little match at the end as well. It was so fun, but also like when you start something new and you don't know what to expect, sometimes it's the coaches that can just absolutely make it. And I have to say, like it's just so good. It's run by such a great bunch of people, but I really enjoyed it. And I left thinking, do you know what? I'm so glad I said yes to this, because when my friend first told me about it, my first thought was absolutely not. But, you know, it was so much fun. Great to be out with other women, mostly mums as well. So we're all in the same boat, escaping the bedtime routine for a good couple of hours in the sun. It's walking distance from my house. And it was just such a great way to get some exercise in the evening and feel like I can be me again without having to wear my mum hat, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm going to keep banging on about how women need community and connection. And that's just a perfect example of it. So I just wanted to share that, because if you need a reminder to go and join that club, or to go and meet up with some ladies for that coffee morning, or go and join like that sewing group or whatever it might be, something where you think, oh, I'd like to do that, but it gets put to the end of the to-do list, or, you know, the pile of things that you want to do for yourself that you're never going to do. Just go and do it. If you can just get out and do it, definitely prioritize yourself, because I honestly felt so good afterwards, and I'm definitely going to go back every week. So I just wanted to share that. Now, I want to just share a few tips that you might need to hear today. If you've had a difficult, stressful week trying to juggle it all, maybe this will help you. So number one, think about how you have an expectation of this summer, perhaps for a holiday or a trip that you've just done, or that you've got to look forward to next week or whenever. I just want you to lower every expectation, literally lower every expectation that you have for this summer right now, because I think the pressure to make it magical and to keep your kids stimulated and to limit screens and to eat really well and to not shout and stay like as patient as a saint. I feel like the pressure of all of that is the problem. And when we feel that pressure, we are just going to get more and more dysregulated. And a dysregulated mum trying to curate a perfect summer is going to have a terrible one, to be fair. Like, I think decide right now what actually matters. Just pick 3 things that actually matter and let the rest go. So maybe the 3 things would be connection, like mindful connection time, keeping the kids alive by feeding them, and letting them go to bed at a decent time and not too late. Like, maybe they're your 3 things, and then you can just let go of the rest. I know that's really hard. I know that you might be a high achiever and you're self-led and you're used to having things go perfectly and wanting things to be great all the time, but I do think that survival mode is a legitimate gear, and you can just use it without shame. Like, don't worry if you are kind of hanging on by a thread this summer. And if you don't feel like that right now, that's awesome. But maybe you will listen to this at the end of the summer, or remember me in your ears at the end of the summer saying all of this. And you might be like, do you know what? Yeah, that's good advice. I can just let it go. Lower every expectation. I would say number 2 is maybe build in one non-negotiable pocket of alone time every single day. So I have been really mindful about having my evenings to myself. I'm not talking about the whole evening. I'm just talking like it might be a 10-minute stroll around the block. It might be just sitting in my egg chair in the garden whilst the kids are having a bath or a shower. And when Adam's dealing with them, I'm just in that chair, and it might only be a few minutes. The other night I went to this delightful sound bath evening, and it was a proper 2-hour event in the most gorgeous setting, and it included meditation and Reiki, and it was so beautiful. I paid a bit of money for it, and I escaped the kids' bedtime, and it was the best. But I'm not going to be doing that every night. But some evenings I'm just walking around the local fields. Another evening soon I'll probably go to the gym. And the reason this is all important for me is because I am with the kids at home literally every day at the moment. I haven't really had any childcare yet. I did have a little bit yesterday, but it's felt like quite a lot in the last week or so, because I'm so used to having my days on my own. And yes, this is first world problems. I'm not complaining. This is the life that I wanted to create, and I love it, and I'm not complaining at all. But I do still need my alone time. Otherwise, I do get stressed, and I don't want to be dysregulated, and I don't want to be snappy. So building in that time for alone time every day is important for me. And I'm sure it might feel the same for you. You don't want to get overstimulated. So just have a think about where you can build in those pockets of time, and even put it in the family calendar if it feels helpful. Number 3 would be just having a 2-minute body reset here and there. So if you really are feeling the summer juggle already, and you're really getting overstimulated, overwhelmed, a bit snappy every day, I would say just learn to lean into the somatic movement. Learn to lean into what your body needs when you're starting to feel like the heat is rising, like the stress is kicking in. So just take a moment and really notice. If you are stressed in the moment, your children are winding you up, maybe you're starting to clench your fists. So that's a signal for you to realise, okay, I've got to get this activation out of my fists. Go and punch some pillows. Go and punch the air. Like, take yourself to a private spot and just try and get some movement in your fists. I do have a very soft ball that I like to use, and my children will use it as well. Sometimes we'll just literally lob it really hard up the stairs or against a wall or in the garden, just to get that activation out of our arms or fists when we're in fight mode. You can also place 2 hands against the wall, flat against the wall, and just push against a wall. That's another safe way to release any stress or activation that you have in your arms. You may notice you don't get any activation in your arms. Maybe it's your jaw. Maybe you are stopping yourself from saying something to your kids in the moment because you know that you can't say that thing, but they are really winding you up, and you're clenching your jaw and you have a lot of tension there. Maybe you have bruxism, which means you grind your jaw at night, and your teeth as well. So if this is something that is common for you, you might feel like some jaw exercises can help you. And the way to do that would be to safely just slowly opening and closing your mouth. And if you get the opportunity to do that whilst you're not distracted, you can think about what comes up, think about what emotions might come up, and really feel into it. Another idea for the jaw would be just gently massaging your masseter muscle. So this is a facial muscle that runs from the cheekbone to the lower jaw, and it's the muscle that's responsible for closing the jaw during chewing. You can just give that a really lovely, gentle massage. So if you were to just sit with your mouth slightly open, you can get your knuckles and just very gently move from almost like your ear down towards your mouth. And massaging that muscle is really effective for relieving stress-related jaw tension. So there's another idea, but the key is noticing where you feel the stress in the moment. Maybe you just want to escape and move to another room. That means you're in flight mode. And that means you really do need to just get away from the stimulation. Maybe all your senses are heightened and you are just over it. You need to get out of that situation and just go and take some deep breaths in another room, or just shake your entire body. Even if it's just for 30 seconds, don't worry about how silly you might look. It's all about releasing all of that stuck energy and all of that activation from your body to allow your body to complete the stress cycle. This is what I talk about in my programs, and this is what I do on the calls with my clients when they have a lot of pent up stress that has been suppressed for a very, very long time. Now, there's plenty of other kind of micro movements and mini kind of regulation tools that you can do when you are, when you can't get an hour to yourself, when you only have limited time. There's gorilla taps, there's ear pulls, there's different kinds of kind of shaking and tapping your body. I've got various different ideas, and I have a short demo video actually that I often share. It's free, and it's called Micro Practices of Regulation to kind of use in the moment, essentially. So if you're interested in grabbing that video, I'll put something in the show notes and just let me know. Check the show notes and I'll figure out how I can share that with you. But essentially, the key is don't worry about looking silly. Just feel into your body and figure out what your nervous system really needs and how you can regulate it again. So there's my 3 hints and tips for surviving the summer with, children at home and juggling everything. Another big one that feels a bit more obvious is obviously we've been going through various heat waves this summer, and it doesn't look like it's getting any cooler anytime soon. So just be mindful of where you just need to cool down. Just be mindful of how are you supporting your system in regulating with the heat, even if it's popping your wrists under the cold tap, even if it's just making sure you have icy cold water with you during, I don't know, like your kid playing football outside for an hour, like just making sure you're really putting yourself first, because I know you're not used to doing that, but it's your time now to put yourself first. Make sure you plan ahead a little bit, or get someone else to support you and ensure that, I don't know, your drinks bottle has been put in the fridge before you're going to go out later today, whatever it might be. Like, make sure your cup is filled, because otherwise you're going to get caught out, end up yelling at the kids, feel like shit, and then summer's ruined. Obviously, that's a joke. Right. On that note, I'm going to go. Have a wonderful rest of your summer. Have a wonderful next few months ahead. I'll be over on Instagram sharing bits and bobs over the coming months, as I always do. That's probably where I hang out the most. So yeah, do give us a follow if you're not already. It's Laura Styles Coach, and take care. Bye.